Good to see Zach Geloff back. There's no question about that. All right, we have the Rays and the A's coming up. Game one of a 3-game set. Enjoy, everybody, and we'll talk to you after the ball game.
It is a beautiful day for baseball in West Sacramento as the A's return home to face the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays for the first of a 3-game series here at Sutter Health Park. Hello again, everybody. Alongside my broadcast partner, Dallas Braden, I'm Chris Carey. And DB, it finally has happened. The A's claim a series victory on the road against the Boston Red Sox. A very great team in their own right, and maybe the fortunes are changing.
Well, I tell you what, to take a phrase from my man, Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised, homie. That's right. The green and gold, they've had the talent. They've had the ability to compete all season long, and especially against the game's best, and that's exactly what we watched unfold in Beantown. They took it to the Red Sox, and it was spearheaded by outstanding performances, an 11 strikeout career-high performance for Gage Jump, and the super sinker baller JT Ginn. They both were doing work, as was the offense. And I tell you what led the charge was clutch hitting. Up and down the lineup, they took advantage of mistakes late in the ballgame, and they turned them into big hits and big wins. A series win.
Now back at home against another AL East juggernaut in the Tampa Bay Rays, arguably the best team in baseball top to bottom.
Yeah, no question. They are, without a doubt, the best team in the AL East. And I think when we talk about the season having taken a bit of an evolution from the season of expectation to the season of evaluation, well, the Rays are 71-46. That's the best in the AL, and we touched on the best in the AL East. So there's no better way to test yourself than against the toast of the division, and that's exactly what the Athletics have in front of them right now. Another tough test in the Tampa Bay Rays.
How about 3 in a row? How does that sound to you? It sounds great to me, and the A's hoping to make that happen in the opening game of this homestand. It's the Athletics against the Rays, Peralta against Lopez, when we return in the 916.
Again, that's habitat.org.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Make this the summer event.
Back at home on the banks of the mighty Sacramento River, the Rays and Athletics will take place in just a short few moments as fans continue to file in from the right field gate as well as the home plate gate in West Sacramento. He's coming off of a series win. The game time weather tonight is brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 86 degrees, 14-mile-per-hour winds, 32% humidity, but it feels a little different than the mid-90s that we were experiencing in Boston just a few days ago.
Yeah, just a little different. Not quite as humid. And let's see if that makes a difference. I think what will make a difference is the confidence that the Athletics are going to take the field with, Chris. Having that test that they just passed in Boston against a very, very hot Red Sox team, which they had just seen days prior. Now another big test against, as we have highlighted, the beast of the AL East in the Tampa Bay Rays.
Speaking of those Rays, here's their starting lineup brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers. Yandy Diaz, the 35-year-old DH, leads off, then Arando and Caminero. Villet, DeLuca, Simpson, Fortes, Walls, and Williams to follow.
Man on the mound tonight for the green and gold, left-hander Jacob Lopez. 16th start for Jacob Lopez, and I think you would love to see Jacob kind of continue the trend he has been on here as of late. Back up the outing against Cincinnati, in which he went 5 solid innings. 9 punch-outs, Chris. That's a season high for the left-hander, those 9 punch-outs. The outing before that against Boston, 5 1/3, 8 punch-outs. So see if the left-hander just can't keep the head of steam going that he's built here over his last few starts or so.
Defense behind Jacob Lopez will look like this tonight. In the outfield, it's Cortez at left, Bolte in center, Butler in right. Geloff returns to the fold at third. McNeil across the diamond first. Wilson and Walton up the middle. And Jonah Heim, the lone Gold Glover, behind the plate.
Well, that man right there, Jay Willie. 111 games without an error. Just a incredible feat achieved by Jacob Wilson. And I got to talk with infield coach, third base coach Bobby Crosby just about the work that Jacob Wilson has put in. And Jacob Wilson was the first one to acknowledge the help that he's received from that man right there and Bobby Crosby. And you know, I think to sum up what Bobby Crosby said it's a testament to the work put in, and it's a testament to the willingness to listen, to learn, and to be able to adapt. Because I think Jacob Wilson at times has his athleticism overlooked, and that's not something you can do right there without being an incredible athlete and an elite adjuster.
Well, let's hope the good times keep rolling as we are now underway with a foul ball at 6:41 local.
I get flashbacks every time I see Yandy Diaz lead off a ball game against a lefty and take a first swing.
Yandy Diaz, 298, third in the American League among qualified hitters, 15 home runs, 65 RBIs. He's doing it at the ripe old age of 35 years old. Cuban international behind it, 0-1, the pitch. And he launches that to left center. Forget about it. It wasn't the first swing, but the second is a tape measure shot to left center field. And the Rays immediately up 1-0.
Yandy wasting no time. Reliving a nightmare. Whenever you can, Yandy, no problem. Jumped all over a center cut fastball, though, and fastballs in real estate, well, location, location, location matters.
Sixth leadoff home run this season, 27th of his career. Typically leads off against left-hand pitching. And now Aranda is up, and he will take outside.
I mean, this was not cheap by any stretch, but he just jumped all over a pitch right down the heart of the zone. And many times, Chris, 27 times to be exact, Yandy has done just that.
The Rays are on the third leg of a three-leg road trip. They've taken care of Colorado and Seattle. 6 wins, no losses, 2 sweeps on this road trip. 12 overall in the season. That's the best in Major League Baseball. Umpiring crew tonight behind the plate, Quinn Walcott. Ramon DeJesus is at first. Adrian Johnson, the crew chief, at second. And Dexter Kelly is third. Aranda on a 7-game hitting streak. He's batted .344 over his last 30 and takes strike 2. This is a Tampa Bay lineup that can beat you in a variety of different ways. You have power at the top and a good balance leading into the bottom where there's a lot of contact and speed for Tampa Bay. 2-2 pitch, line drive to center. It will hang up for Bolte, who makes the catch for the first out.
Well, Quinn Walcott behind the plate this evening played the euphonium, and if you're wondering what that looks like, just think like a mini tuba. We played that during high school in Puyallup, Washington. As far as the zone goes, well, call it a bit of a small strike zone, but he's only been overturned on about half of the calls, 49.5% on his challenges.
And here's the biggest power threat in their order, Junior Caminero, who is having a monster season yet again. 33 home runs. That's second in the American League, 5th in baseball. Has batted .301 against left-handed pitching. And he will fly this to left, deep to left. Cortez drifting back and right in front of the warning track. Makes the catch for the second out.
Well, I don't care how you get rid of Junior Caminero. him out, him off the base path, that's all you're looking for. Because he has, as the kids say, Chris, he has been a dog.
So Ryan Vilade digs in. And Lopez will fire to the plate. There is strike one on a 90-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball at the knees. Well, Vilade was traded by Cincinnati to Tampa Bay in November of last year. He's bounced around a number of different organizations, but has seemed to fit in nicely as a typical bench piece for Tampa Bay. 0-1, swung through and missed, 0-2.
Well, Tampa Bay not afraid to identify role players, and I think that's where Vilade has been able to settle in. You know, asked to do some different things.
2 pitch, high. They're led by that man. In his 12th season, 5 postseason appearances, and having a remarkable season again with the Tampa Bay Rays. Lopez just struck out Vilade, but Yandy Diaz has a leadoff home run, and the Rays lead 1-0. A's bats up next. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Now time for the A's starting lineup, brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers. McNeil, Soderstrom, and Wilson at the top of the order, then Bolte, Walton, and welcome back Zach Geloff at the bottom of the order.
And we've seen Freddie Peralta before. Right now wearing a Rays uniform. 24th start of the season for Freddie Peralta. Chris, coming off a very forgettable debut. Remember, he was traded from the Mets to the Rays.
McNeil lines one into right. Sorry to cut you off, buddy, but Jeff McNeil not wasting any time early.
I love it. That's 1001 for Jeff McNeil.
Defense behind Peralta will look like this. Simpson in left, DeLuca in center, Vilade in right. Caminero and Aranda on the corners. Walls and Williams up the middle. And Nick Fortes is behind the plate.
As I was saying, Freddie Peralta came over to the Rays, the deadline deal. In 3 2/3 innings in Colorado. 9 hits, 7 earned runs. Not quite the way you want to get your run started with the Rays. Frankly, anybody with any new team. So trying to bounce back here. The problem with that is it's on the road, and that is a place that has just not been kind to Freddie Peralta.
It's down low. You're absolutely right, Dallas. This year, 10 starts on the road, 2-5, 7.11 ERA on the road. Opponents hitting .308 against Freddie when he's on the road. Now Soderstrom gets it in the air and fouls it away.
Well, time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Take a peek at that outing in Colorado. He had 11 outs, surrendered 9 hits, did garner 2 double plays, but as you can see, there was some damage done.
Too far inside. Now 3 balls and a strike to Soderstrom, who's riding an 8-game hitting streak. Soderstrom has an RBI in each of his last 4 games. We're on the road trip. He went 6 for 20 with a double and 2 home runs and 5 batted in. 3-1. That's crushed to center field. DeLuca going back, still going back. He's not going to get there. It bounces off the base of the wall. McNeil had a steam around third. Crosby waving him home. The throw to the plate. Safe! And it's tied 1-1 immediately. Now a 9-game hitting streak for Soderstrom after that double off the wall.
And Sodi able to answer back. A pitch up. Very hittable for Soderstrom, and he drives it. Gives it a ride out to center. DeLuca cannot track it down. And with a hop over his head, McNeil checks up. Thought DeLuca might have been able to have a play on it. That was not the case, and Bobby Crosby kept that windmill cranking.
Now it's Jacob who swings out of his shoes, loses his helmet, and fouls it back, 0-1.
And how about the veteran? Headlong into home. Left hand across the plate just before the tag.
So Soderstrom at second, Wilson up, and he will crank this to center. On the move, DeLuca, he will make the catch in the alley. Soderstrom going to test his arm, moving to third, sliding in safely. And some good ABC baseball being played here early.
Well, and what you take away from this is it's a great read on the base path by Tyler Soderstrom. Why? Well, because DeLuca has his momentum taking him away from the plate. He's able to finally kind of put the brakes on, settle up, but that's the difference between being able to play through the baseball as an outfielder and having to meet the ball at a spot. And I think Sodi very readily acknowledged that and aggressively heads over to third base. Well done.
Carlos Cortez is the cleanup hitter tonight. 262, 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. He's hitless in his last 5 games at this ballpark. And limited action on the road trip, did have a pinch hit. And now he's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes against Freddie Peralta. Like you said, was in the offseason traded to the Mets and then at the deadline flipped to Tampa Bay. Not what the Mets wanted, but now Tampa Bay gains a veteran starter. 2-0 pitch, called strike. The bottom rung of the strike zone, 2-1.
Well, Cortez, you can see, kind of think about it. Opted not to challenge.
Take that changeup.
I think that's the difference between when a guy's going good and a guy might not be seeing it as well as he'd like to. I think we've seen Cortez early in the season more than willing to challenge pitches. Here a little gun shy.
3-1. He takes, and a good take at that. A four-seamer just a touch outside. Now the A's have him on the corners for Lawrence Butler. This will bring out pitching coach Kyle Snyder to talk to Freddie Peralta. This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Freddie Peralta, like you said, this is his second start with Tampa Bay. And immediately pressure in the bottom of the first. Now let's hear a word from Tri-Counties Bank.
We've been providing big bank lending power and high-tech service throughout California for over 50 years. But we're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street may be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.
So it's Lawrence Butler. Cortez at first after the walk. Soderstrom at third. First pitch. Four-seamer called strike, 0-1. Butler had 2 hits on the road trip, including a home run against Cincinnati. Looking for a little more here against Tampa. Wave and a miss at a four-seam fastball, 0-2. A little late to the party there. He's got the baby blues on. The 0-2 pitch, no chance on that changeup. He strikes out swinging. And there are 2 away.
The changeup, a good pitch for Freddie Peralta. I think you look across his arsenal and everything has been getting hit. The changeup, Chris, specifically sporting the highest batting average against out of any one of his offerings.
It is unique just seeing how a year can change a lot of different things for a guy. It's Jonah Heim, who is one of the heroes of the game last night, is up, or yesterday I should say, called strike, 1-1. That game tying RBI double in the 8th, and then the A's ended up winning it thanks to Max Muncy's double. over the Red Sox, claiming their first series in quite some time. Spits on a changeup, 2-1. Cortez is going, 2-1 pitch, called strike. Fortes throws to the second base bag. Coming home, Soderstrom, it leaks into the outfield. Cortez will take third, and the A's take advantage on the base paths and lead 2-1. They remain aggressive. That's one thing we saw late in the game yesterday, and they do it here quickly in the first.
I talked about having to play a different brand of baseball yesterday, and this is a prime example of it. Put the game in motion, see if you can't force some action here, maybe force a mistake, and that's exactly what happens. You know, reminiscent of the Little League 2-out runners on first and third steal home play, Chris, where you get going, stop halfway, almost bait your opponent with a bit of a delay over there at first base. See Cortez take off and then hit the brakes. Walls can't come up with it. It was a short hop, not a great throw from Fortes, and that's exactly how this thing plays out. And a great job by Cortez to be able to get over to third base as well. Athletics able to put a little pressure on the Rays here early. Go back to that throw. I mean, a great pitch to throw on. Fastball right down Broadway. Ball just comes up very short.
Cortez 90 feet away from scoring the third run of this inning for the A's. The 2-2 pitch. A breaking ball fouled away. I like it. Start. Not something that we've seen a lot for the A's. Moving runners on the base paths this early. Situational baseball. It's fun to see. A line drive foul off the A's dugout.
Well, you touched on it. This was Jonah Heim's last at bat of the ball game. Garrett Whitlock in. Durant can't come down with it. McNeil pushed across. Swinging A's swung their way back into that one. And I tell you, Jonah Heim just feels like the bigger the moment, the more comfortable he feels. At least this season, he has delivered in some very big spots and kept the game going. Has taken some game-deciding swings.
Peralta to the plate, 2-2. Heim spoils another. Just above the A's radio broadcast booth. 10th pitch of this at-bat incoming.
Well, chipping away right now at Freddie Peralta. Pitch number 27 on its way.
2-2 home. That's a changeup away. 3-2. He's worked the count full. It's a 26-pitch inning for Peralta. A's have already taken the lead. Done quite a few things well offensively in this inning. They've upped the pitch count. Not much more that you could be happier about in this inning for this club. Three-2 payoff pitch. And another foul ball. Next 3-2 from Peralta is popped into shallow center. DeLuca will make the catch on the run, and that will retire the side. But the A's scored 2 runs off of 2 hits in error and 1 man left on base. They lead 2-1. At the end of every A's homestand during the 2026 season, that's brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino. The bottom of the first was very successful for the A's. They take the lead at 2-1, capitalizing on the base paths, a throwing error Tyler Soderstrom extending his hitting streak. Jeff McNeil, 1,001 hits now. And Jacob Lopez comes back out for the second with a lead against Johnny DeLuca.
We love to see the A's just finding different ways to get on base, different ways to score runs. It's all part of, you know, defining, manufacturing runs.
High fly ball to center. Bolte broke back, now comes in and makes the catch. And up comes one of the most fascinating players in baseball, Chandler Simpson.
I can't express how much fun I have watching Chandler Simpson play baseball. He is a true delight. I think a player who defines playing the game of baseball in a different way. I know a lot of folks would almost consider it a throwback approach, right? Put the ball in play. Like Chandler Simpson is not up here trying to hit one off the batter's eye right now. He's trying to find a hole. He's not afraid to put the ball on the ground and pull it with him. You're talking about a guy, 10 base hit bunts. He's got 45 infield hits, which is why 85.5% of his hits are singles, second most in baseball.
Gets it in the air, shallow left. Out goes Geloff in foul ground, reaching for it, then up against the screening. Remember,
goodness,
Zach Geloff fell on the IL after going all in on a baseball in Detroit.
Well, and I did receive word when the Tigers were back in town that, hey, they've actually cleaned that area up now. There's padding that's been taken care of.
Knee laceration for Geloff, but he's back. Defensive swing, grounded to first. McNeil gathers and steps on the bag. Must have to have a little bit more of a sense of urgency with the speed of Simpson coming up.
Well, this is kind of what you just touched on. Geloff into the slide and immediately reaches for that right knee. And you could just tell immediately. And what's incredible to think is how he's walking off the field in that shot, knowing how gruesome the injury was. But that's how Zach Geloff arrives here today. Jonathan Ornelas DFA'd, Geloff reinstated.
Fortes at the plate and chopping it to Geloff, who charges, backhand, slings to first, and he completes the play. A 1-2-3 second for Jacob Lopez. And Geloff will be the number 3 hitter in the second.
Block out the glare and keep your eyes on the game as the A's host these Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow. You can arrive early to score a pair of A's sunglasses to rock for the rest of the season. It's the ultimate midweek matchup to shade up and show off for your green and gold pride. Grab your tickets right now at athletics.com/promotions. They could use some shades. See you here tomorrow, fellas. Sound good?
Henry Bolte takes strike one. 2-1, the A's lead. Freddie Peralta had a bit of traffic in the first inning. 6 hitters came up. Now Bolte, who's batted .313 in the early goings of August, is up. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 0-2, and it's that changeup. And we're talking about that changeup. When it's on, it's on.
Well, it can be nasty, and it's a large part due to the arm speed that he replicates, very similar to the fastball.
But the opponent average was at 173 against that pitch last year. Now 288, a 115-point swing. Each of his first 3 pitches that he uses, as Bolte swings and misses on the changeup. 1 away. Look good there.
Well, you see this thing. I mean, the fact that Freddie's not afraid to move it around. You know, that's expert level deployment, being able to move your off speed around, throwing it for strikes. both sides of the plate, stretching the strike zone.
It's been the curveball, the fastball, and the changeup, all 70-point plus increases in opponent average from 2025 to 2026. And he's ahead now quickly at 0-2. Peralta comes set, and his 0-2 pitch in the dirt on a changeup. Is there anything you noticed in his delivery from last year to this year that may indicate as to why hitters are seeing it better?
I mean, look, sometimes it can just be about not making pitches, right? And I think if there are mechanical issues, that can lead to a lack of finish on the baseball. I mean, you see Freddie, he's a crossfire guy. He's across his body. You can look at the mound and you see two different landing spots. Now, understanding you've got a long left-hander in Lopez on the mound, and Freddie Peralta working from the side of the rubber that he does.
On the ground to third, Caminero with a pink glove throws to first, 2 away.
So you'll see where Freddie Peralta's landing right here, and this is where Jacob Lopez is landing right here. And we'll show you where these guys set up on the rubber. You can see Freddie's got that toe far third base side of the rubber, so heel almost centrally located. And we'll show you Jacob Lopez next half inning where he's at. And you know, sometimes guys move around the rubber. Rarely do you see it. You have to be very comfortable with your release point. But it's about creating angles. And I think one thing to note too is Freddie doesn't have a huge velocity separation in the changeup. And that's not to say that it hasn't been good in the past, because it's been outstanding in the past.
He's gotten ahead of hitters quickly in the second inning. 0-2 to Zach Geloff. That won't go. Four-seamer too far away. 1-2. As we mentioned, Geloff reinstated from the 10-day injured list after a right knee laceration that he suffered on July the 9th in Detroit, selling out for a base while making a tremendous catch in left field. 1-2 pitch fouled away. Went 3 for 13 with a home run and 4 RBIs in his rehab assignment with AAA Las Vegas. Said he felt good, and he's in the order tonight with the big league club. He was batting .319 over his previous 30 major league games, but it has been over a month since Geloff saw big league action. The hope is that hot bat can stay hot despite a month on the shelf. 2-2 pitch, high drive, right center field. Moving over is DeLuca, and he will make the catch for the final out of the second. 2-1 A's. To the third we go.
Well, before today's ball game, we had a moment of silence, and deservedly so. Many writers, Bay Area sports fans in general, were treated to the charismatic, funny, and when I say weird, I mean it with the utmost affection, because Wags, well, he was one of a kind. He was our weirdo. Gone too soon, and a member of the A's family for years, Walona Perry, and to lose such close members of not only the A's family but the sports world in such close proximity of each other, Chris. I know a lot of folks here at the ballpark and a lot of folks in the area are kind of reeling, and I think you can understand why. So our hearts go out to both families. I mean, I touched on it the other day when we all found out that we had lost Wags. Just what a what a vibrant presence he has been for a very long time, whether at the Coliseum, I mean, on a football field, on the court, at the rink. There was nobody that didn't walk away without a smile on their face, and maybe even shaking their head when you come across Wags, because as I said, he is a one of a kind.
Popped up, shallow right. McNeil makes the catch.
And Walona, man, I think back, Chris, to when I was just a baby growing up in this organization, and you know, you get to big league camp, and the great Mickey Morabito would tell you, and this is where you're gonna go see. You're gonna go see Walona. Walona have your meal money for you, and Walona let you know you're gonna like me because I'm the one handing you that envelope you like every Monday. And that envelope had our lunch money in it, but you walked away with some lunch money and you walked away with a friend, because Walona treated each and every one of us like we were her own. And you did. You looked forward to just walking into her office and seeing her and saying hello. And then later on at the Coliseum, you walk into the lunchroom and Walona's there, and she's pulling tickets, handing tickets out to everybody that's coming through and going to have a nice meal. And it was great. Walona would always tell you when they restocked the ice cream bin, which I know our friend Johnny Dosco was a huge fan of the inside info. She'd tell you when they were coming, but just the conversation, the warm presence, the warm greeting, you know, those are little things that let you know you're at the ballpark with not only friends but family. So both individuals will be missed, sorely missed.
Very beautifully put, Dallas Braden. A few tears were certainly shed, but both of those individuals brought a lot of smiles to people inside this press box, on that field. Touched a lot of this organization. Thank you for sharing. 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Lopez, a 7-pitch third, and the A's still lead 2-1. True baseball fans need Wi-Fi that's so reliable it never gets caught looking. Xfinity Internet keeps you in the game at one price for 5 years and allows you to get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity.
Imagine that.
2-1 A's, bottom of the third inning. Top of the order coming up for a second time against Freddie Peralta. McNeil singled and scored the first of 2 runs back in the first inning. This is his 5th game batting in the #1 spot. He'll take low, 2 balls and no strikes, but Mark Kotsay has been unafraid to be experimental with this lineup, especially with a lot of turnover, injury, and change. And so far, this lineup has performed well for him tonight. 2-0, ripped into right, another hit for McNeil. So he's 2 for 2.
2000, here we come. Jeff McNeil just hasn't stopped hitting. And I'm not mad at it. J-Mac going out getting around a fastball arm side on that outside corner, but McNeil with a sweep into right. Sevy likes it. Good to see Sevy. Sevy's out moving around before the ball game.
Soderstrom's up. He doubled in the first run. Soderstrom stole home base in the first inning. Home plate, I should say.
Been a while.
First to steal home plate in 8 years since Mark Canha did it. High and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Freddie Peralta, remember his last start against the A's happened earlier this year when he was with the Mets, and it was a really good one of his best. 6 innings, an earned run. There were 4 hits against him. He walked 3, struck out 6 in 100 pitches, and that was against what I would consider a full-strength A's club, who ended up winning that game narrowly in the 3-game sweep of the Mets in New York. Now it's a different look team, but they still have the lead over Peralta. It just goes to show any team can beat any other team on any given day with the amount of talent that is in this league. Short lead for McNeil. Peralta to the plate. Soderstrom check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Soderstrom doesn't like it. And neither does the manager.
Well, I mean, we have the benefit of replay. So in the moment, not terribly excited about it, but I think you might see where they're coming from.
Wilson lined out to center his first time up. And he almost got hit there with a fastball.
Yeah, 94-mile-an-hour heater. About belt high, charging in on him. Trying to take back the inside part of the plate.
Balls and no strikes. McNeil is going. A breaking ball throw down, and it is going to be late. McNeil steals the base. So the A's again remaining in motion on the base paths.
Well, it is a little taste of their own medicine. Coming into the ball game, the A's 62 stolen bases. It's 22nd in Major League Baseball. The Rays tied for 5th at 116. So that is the type of brand of baseball that the Tampa Bay Rays play. And the fact that they have some guys in the lineup that can make that wheel turn. But I think the same can be said. Now, is Jeff McNeil going to go out and steal 20, 30 bags for you? Probably not.
He's got 6 now with that one. Wilson gets underneath one. And that's flied to center. DeLuca will make the catch, and McNeil will stay at second. For Peralta, he's seeking some consistency, and he's seeking winning form. He has not won a game since June the 14th, almost 2 months ago. Rays know what pitcher Peralta can be, and with the playoff picture looking brighter and brighter every day, to have him as a part of a fun Rays rotation, he could add even more to a squad that has found ways to win with less before. Now they get a true bona fide top of the rotation guy at the deadline. A 1 pitch, a wave and a miss, 0-2. Been good at home and good on the road. Really, good's not even enough of a word to describe how they've been at home. They've been sensational at home. 41-18. Neal at second. Cortez at the plate. He walked and stole a base 2 innings ago. And now he works the count even on a changeup, 2-2. Two-two pitch, down low, 3-2. Butler waiting on deck. Three-two payoff pitch on the ground. Moving over to second, Williams. He will throw to first, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. 2-1, A's through 3.
Well, Jay Willie's flawless fielding is a record-breaking deal for you, A's fans. For a limited time, score this 111-derful. That's right, 100-derful deal. That's August 24th and 25th as the Green and Gold hosts the Minnesota Twins. Don't let this offer slip away. Lock in your $11.10 tickets for 111 errorless games today at athletics.com/Wilson. We're going to workshop that.
111-derful?
111-derful.
We got time. I think they get the point. $11.10 tickets. 24th and 25th of August.
You know, I was thinking about this, Chris. You come back from the road trip. You get on the plane on a high note after taking 2 or 3 from a team that has been the hottest team in baseball since about June or so. And those 3 fellas right there, along with Sevy, saw Mark Leiter Jr. in the building. But for a group to come home after a road trip like that, and you see the group of leaders that are in the clubhouse walking around taking care of their business, you know, there's something to be said for the type of energy that just seeing those faces can give a ball club, especially a young group of players. You know, you have your veterans mixed in, right? The Jeff McNeils, the Jonah Himes. But I think for players like Geloff, like Wilson, you got the young Henry Bolte out in center field, Lawrence Butler. It's Lopez with a walk here to Aranda. But the list goes on and on. Saw left-hander Jeffrey Springs as well. Great to see the lefty. But as we know, and what I've told folks when we're on the road is, you know, they ask how have things been, and they ask kind of, you know, already understanding how things have been. But that's the first thing I say is it's very tough to win ball games when the door, the proverbial roster door, is continuing to swing both ways. Guys are in and out because of injury. You're trying to plug and play, and it's not easy to overcome, especially when you experience as much of the injuries that the Athletics have had.
Leadoff walk to Aranda. Now Junior Caminero is up for a second time. He flew out to left. First pitch inside, 1-0. He's a player who hit 45 home runs last year. He's a 2-time All-Star, and he just turned 23 on July the 5th. He's just barely scratched the surface of what his potential could be in this league, and he's already received a pair of All-Star honors. McNeil holds on Aranda with a short lead. Walton shading second. And the 1-1. Tapped foul. Time now for the Blue Moon bright spot. And Junior Caminero is one of a few with multiple 30 home run seasons before turning 23. Now remember, he just turned 23 on July the 5th in the modern era, and a lot of Hall of Fame names on that list.
I mean, from top to bottom. Start at the bottom there. You got Double X, Eddie Matthews, the Splendid Splinter, Frank Robinson, I mean, the list quite literally goes on and on.
Pops this to shallow left. Cortez broke back, now has to come in. Getting some more and makes the catch. Remember, he had a soft swing on the baseball and it almost flew all the way to the warning track. This time, a lot closer to the infield.
Well, Caminero out in front. You can hear it off the cup of the bat. 3 or 4 steps backwards. And Chris, we're feeling it up here in the booth, and I think if you take a look at the flags, you'll see the wind has started to pick up a little, blowing out to left, across from right to left.
Wind has played a big factor this season at this ballpark. 1-0 pitch called strike. 1-1 to Valade, who struck out swinging to end the first for Tampa's offense. That at that point led 1-0. The A's added 2 in the bottom of the first, and that puts the score where we are now in the top of the fourth. Lopez is going to step off. Well, the Rays 6 wins in a row on the road. That is their longest streak since they had a 6-game run on the road from June 13th to 26th of 2025. One-two home. In the air to center. Bolte's got a beat on it. He makes the catch for the second out of the top of the fourth. Here's Johnny DeLuca, who's experiencing a lot longer of a season this year as compared to the 2025 campaign, where he only appeared in 20 games for Tampa Bay. He was on and off the injured list due to shoulder and hamstring strains. Gets it off the end of the bat as Squibber. Donovan Walton hustling over. He's going to have to put it in his pocket. An infield hit as Walton was shaded more towards second. Had to go a long way. Aranda to second. DeLuca with an infield hit. And the Rays have their first runner in scoring position.
That's about as tough as it gets to watch unfold as a pitcher. This ball off the end of the bat. About as weak a contact as you can make. But nobody home over there on the right side.
Here's Chandler Simpson, grounded out to first. Corners in, and Simpson taking a slider on the inside corner. 0-1. He's talking to the Rays broadcaster. Said he's kind of an enigma. When he's having success, it's not when putting the ball in the air.
Well, no, I mean, that's not his game. So I'm not sure that that really strikes anybody by surprise. What Chandler Simpson does and does well is he puts the ball in play, he finds holes. And he's a guy that they feel very confident in being able to move the game along with. And he's not afraid to drop a bunt down regardless of game situation. I mean, when it is as much a part of your approach at the plate as it is for Chandler Simpson, you can understand why he is always a threat to do just that.
A lot of outfield defenses play him in. The outfield way in for Simpson right now. High and away. For his last 20 full games played, 427 with 32 hits for Tampa Bay, with 9 runs scored and 9 stolen bases. He has 8 multi-hit games in his last 14 played for Tampa Bay. The 2-2 home. Hit hard, a diving stab by Walton. He robs Simpson of a hit and likely an RBI. The game remains 2-1 A's thanks to Donovan Walton in the 3-4 hole.
Do it, Walt. Lay out and make a play.
Baseball is brought to you by Red Hawk Resort and Casino. Take entertainment to a new level.
Back here in West Sacramento, the A's leading 2-1, bottom of the fourth inning. Chris Carey, Dallas Braden, and we have a few draft picks in the house. Roman Martin, Alex Sosa, and Alex Hernandez, who made a quick little trip up from Stockton, California, to come take in a baseball game on the off day.
Pretty sweet. You know, I don't remember getting the invitation from Stockton to the Coliseum when I was in A-ball. Didn't get probably still in the mail. I'll check that.
You guys come to the ballpark every single day. I think you need to make the trek down to Stockton and see them.
Well, haven't been this year. Haven't been by the ballpark this year. And I do need to make that happen before it's all said and done. But what a great experience. Come out, watch the big boys get after it.
Lawrence Butler is up and fouling away the first pitch, 0-1. Martin, the 4th round pick. Hernandez, the 5th round pick. And Sosa, the 6th round pick. 2 utility players and a catcher. Butler struck out swinging against Peralta his first time, and now takes a changeup low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Remember, a lot of different independent publications were saying that the A's had an A draft. It's popped into shallow right. On the run, Valade. He's still on his horse, and it drops. Butler pushing for second. He's going to slide, and he's out.
Well, Marcotte's got his hand up. All in all, I don't think this is going to go the way of the Athletics. And you can see Lawrence taking a bit of a pause there at home plate. And I think, Chris, unfortunately, that's the difference here. Ball goes up in the air. I highlighted the wind that was blowing from right to left across the diamond. Something we know about fly balls at this ballpark down the line. They come back into play. Jonah Heim going to tap out for the 2nd out. But Lawrence got on his horse, tried to beat the play out, but you can see Walls apply the tag. It was a good throw from Williams, and that's the difference. Or Aranda, excuse me.
Sweeper goes all the way to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. 3-6 on the play at second base. And on his hands, Bolte fouls it away. Well, it looks like Freddie Peralta has stabilized things a bit after 6 batters came up and scored 2 runs against him in the first. Scoreless innings in the 2nd and the 3rd, including a 1-2-3 inning. And now he's ahead of Henry Bolte at 1-2. But he has fired 69 pitches to the plate. So just a little bit over that mark that you always talk about, 4-60.
Yeah, just a bit behind schedule.
On the 1-2, chopped foul.
A very, very long first inning, 28 pitches. Be able to settle down a bit over those next 2. This one, not bad. Freddie tried to sell it off the mound. Close pitch.
Two. Change up low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Peralta, and Bolte serves it into right. That'll drop down for a hit. Hustling out of the box, he loses his helmet, but will not streak to second. A 2-out single, and up comes Walton.
nice work here at the plate by Bolte. 93 able to stay inside of it. Hitting the inside of the baseball here, letting it travel a bit. Bolte down on his first at bat on the changeup. See that same arm side movement. You want to see it as long as you can.
Walton has come up in the clutch a few times in his short career with the A's. Player that is used primarily off the bench, but he's also hit .406 against American League East teams this year. And he bloops this into shallow center. A diving catch. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. What a play. Johnny DeLuca, headlong dive. It stays in his glove, and the game remains 2-1. Clear the Shelters is NBC's nationwide pet adoption and donation campaign. It helps find loving homes for animals in need while also raising funds for local animal shelters and rescues. Go to NBCBayArea.com to help pets find their forever homes now through August 31st. Here's Nick Fortes, who grounded out to third his first time up. This is a former Miami Marlin that got traded to Tampa Bay. That is not unfamiliar for Tampa Bay, who just recently acquired Liam Hicks from Miami, another catcher. So Fortes, his average at .272, has not hit above .230 in any of his previous 4 seasons. He's having a fine year for Tampa Bay.
Well, and sometimes it's just about getting that consistent run.
Pitch, a wave and a miss. Lopez got him on the breaking ball, and there is one away.
Well, that sweeper. Okay, that's what makes Lopez so nasty. Is it's the funky arm angle, the crossfire. Remember, we were talking about the landing spots of these two pitchers and where they're anchored on the rubber. Jacob Lopez opting to challenge. Heim did not. Lopez very quickly did. Said, that's good. This challenge, ABS powered by T-Mobile. And maybe Lopez, go get you a strike. I love it.
This is the team that Jacob Lopez came onto the scene with, the Tampa Bay Rays, pitching in 2 seasons, short and limited action with Tampa Bay. Still his first team nonetheless. A ball and a strike to Taylor Walls, who is really fun to watch defensively at the shortstop position. Walls popped out to the first baseman Jeff McNeil, ranging back into the outfield grass 2 innings ago. 2-1 pitch is popped out of play, foul, 2-2.
Well, you got to love the way that Jacob Lopez is attacking the strike zone. I think that's been a common theme for here over the last few starts for the lefty, is he has just kind of force-fed pitches in and around the zone with more consistency, I think, than we've seen all season.
2-2 pitch. Popped up. In foul ground, McNeil will have room to make the catch. 2 away. You're absolutely right. Chris Townsend asked us the question of Lopez on the mound and what differences we've seen since re-entering the rotation. And I think the words that I used was, you see a level of confidence. Johnny said swagger. Do you agree with that? Do you see anything in body language differently?
Well, I just think it's really, there comes a point in time where you have that talk with the man in the mirror about how you're going to go about your business. And you decide that, you know what, I am not going to be the hunted. I am not the prey here. I'm the predator. And I think when you go back and you look at some of the outings, you look at some of your starts where you've nibbled and you've fallen behind, you look at that as a prey mentality. But right now, Jacob Lopez is very much the one on the prowl. He is the hunter right now. And he's got Williams in his crosshairs.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts this inning for Jacob Lopez. He's through 5, and the A's are up 1. Two-1 A's in the bottom of the 5th. Chris Carey, Dallas Braden, the rest of our wonderful NBC Sports California crew. Zach Geloff, who flew out to center, his first time up, is leading off the 5th and taking in and low 1 ball and no strikes.
Oh, what? I mean, get it. Yeah.
Geloff drives it left center field. It has been quite some time since we've had a Gallo shot, but boy, does it feel good. Welcome back, Zach Geloff. The A's lead 3-1. His 12th of the year, his 30th RBI, and I think he's feeling just fine.
Best 9-hole hitter here, huh?
22-game home hitting streak for Zach Geloff. Welcome back and welcome home.
Now McNeil sends a charge to center. DeLuca on the move and right in front of the warning track makes the catch.
He got a pitch and hit it hard, and he got a heater right down Broadway. And Zach Geloff said, "Get off me, ball." Torched.
ABS challenge coming here.
Well, not a bad pitch, just looked a little low.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile. You're absolutely right, partner.
Pitch the ball. Tampa Bay has 1 challenge remaining.
Things going well for the A's. Now only 1 challenge remaining for Tampa Bay, who trails by 2 runs. And recently, the A's have been playing a lot closer ball games. Boston series at home was very closely contested than the Cincinnati series. You felt like the A's, other than that one big 13 spot the Red Sox scored Friday night, they were in every single game, and now they've got another close one tonight.
Well, I mean, you go back to that first game in Boston, Chris, let's not forget, it took a performance on the mound by Peyton Tolley of which the likes the game of baseball had never seen. Left-hander delivering a 14 strikeout performance in under 85 pitches, first to do it. And that's how they beat the A's in night 1. Well, outside of that, the A's were able to put a couple of great pitching performances together, some timely hitting against, from what we've all understood or been told, that one of the best, if not the best, bullpen in baseball.
Yep. Mark Kotze said in the media scrum, you know, when it comes to 1-run games, there's a little bit of luck that is involved with the team that wins. It's a 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Soderstrom strikes out for his second time. That's now 4 strikeouts for Freddie Peralta. And luck favored the A's in a tight finish yesterday. They're up 2 now.
I'll tell you, when that pitch is on and dialed in, it is a tough one to get to.
Swings on the first pitch, fouls it away, 0-1. He's lined out and flied out both to center field. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Peralta at 86 pitches. Grounds it foul.
You know, Chris, you talked to me about something mechanically for Freddie, and when I think about what he looked like last year, probably a little higher arm slot. And so when you start to work down, you start to get on the side of the baseball, that absolutely starts to affect the pitch profile.
Now Wilson gets in the air, deep to left field. Simpson on the move, still moving, and he will make the catch right in front of the wall. But the A's did score in the 5th inning, thanks to Zach Geloff. His 12th Gallo shot of the year, and it's 3-1 Athletics. Exclusive interviews, check out the 49ers Talk podcast, hosted by Matt Mayoko and Jennifer Lee Chan, presented by Big O Tires. 3-1 A's lead, top of the 6th inning. Jacob Lopez continuing to fill up the strike zone at an economical rate. Zach Geloff hit his 12th home run of the season, the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the order with Yandy Diaz up. He'll take high for Yandy Diaz. A lot of power, 16 home runs after the leadoff solo home run in the 1st inning. But the Rays did not have their lead for long. Defensive swing, that's dropped into right. Hits off the lip of the grass. Butler with his bare hand will fire to second. Diaz diving in safely. And it took a strange hop on that grass cutting out of the dirt.
Yeah, hit right off the lip. Instead of maybe getting a bounce, instead you see this ball almost kind of just sputter and shoot right. See it check up and kick. Grab your stool and get out of Dodge.
This is the 3rd time through the order. Jacob Lopez has made quick work of the Rays tonight. Aranda takes strike 1, and he's going to challenge on the cutter. Remember, only 1 challenge remaining for Tampa Bay. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and a good read from Aranda.
Overturned, pitches the ball.
Very close.
Has 1 challenge remaining.
Aranda hitting .343 with runners in scoring position this year. He's a player that's already had 10 hits on this road trip at 27 chances, now 28 counting the line out tonight, the walk. Strike 2. Off the plate.
I love it here. Lopez grunting and snarling out there.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a cutter. 5 strikeouts for Lopez.
Well, it's elevated, but just doesn't stay true. It's got that little cut away from Aranda. You see the frustration. Aranda, maybe a pitch he thought he should have got to.
Junior Caminero. Slider low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Talking about Freddie Peralta being a crossbody release. Jacob Lopez has been known for that as well. I wonder if that's difficult for the Rays to pick up tonight.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why I touched on it earlier, was just showing you the differences where they're set up and the fact that there's deliveries still similar.
On the ground at third, Geloff on 2 hops, vacuums it up and throws to first, 2 away.
I'd say he has just looked more and more comfortable over at third base. We've already highlighted this season many times how much his athleticism has helped things out. And I think just listening to Mark Kotze talk earlier today, talked about, possibly finding a role, maybe something a little more permanent, if that's something that allows him to get more comfortable. As this is popped up to the right side, Jeff McNeil waving it off. And that'll be that for the Rays here in the top of the 6th. Jacob Lopez slicing and dicing. Cortez, Butler, and Heim when we come back.
It's brought to you by A's Baseball is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. The sun is setting upon fair Sacramento. 3-1 the score. A's leading bottom 6. Bouncing ball up the middle, ranging over Williams. He'll throw the first. 1 pitch and 1 out for Freddie Peralta, who has not pitched over 5 2/3 innings in his last 9 starts, going all the way back to June 9th against St. Louis. If he could get 1 more out, he would match the 5 2/3 inning total and hope to go a little bit deeper, but he is at 89 pitches. Butler takes strike 1 on a changeup, 0-1. Butler is 1 for 2 with a single. Tried to stretch it into a double, but he was retired. 3-6 out. Chris Roycroft, the former Cardinal, is warming up in the Rays bullpen. So no balls and 2 strikes to Lawrence Butler. And Peralta will fire the 0-2 pitch, foul back. Jacob Lopez spinning a gem so far, 6 innings. That's a season high for him. Had not gone above 5 1/3 this year. Fights off a changeup. It'll remain at 0-2. Despite 2 hits and 22 at-bats on the road, Lawrence Butler has a hit tonight. Has looked good out there, but he swings and misses on a changeup again. That's been a pitch of poison for Butler against right-handers.
Well, again, Freddie, this one's got a little more depth to it here, some downer action on it. And what makes a good changeup like Freddie Peralta's tough to hit when it's on is it's over the plate, and it feels like it's hittable, and then it just feels like it hits a sheet. Somebody pulls the parachute.
That's flying to deep center field. DeLuca going back, and he leaps right in front of the wall to make the catch. Heim gave it a ride, but it ends up as out number 3.
Fans, you can dust off your boots and head to the ballpark this Friday as the A's host the Texas Rangers. Stick around after the final out to watch a massive fireworks show light up the Sacramento sky to all your favorite country music hits. Kick off your weekend with great music, big hits, and epic fireworks. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/promotions.
First pitch found away from Johnny DeLuca. 0-1, top of the 7th inning, 3-1 A's. Jacob Lopez now at 74 pitches. We're in the 7th.
Well, this is the time of night, Chris, where you start to, the sun is setting. You see the backdrop, grays and purples and shades of whatnot.
Tapper, Heim, guns to first, and that's wide. Butler to back it up. But into second, DeLuca. Single E2 is the scoring.
Well, it's a full swing. You can hear Heim calling for it. But I don't know that even if this throw is on target, that they get DeLuca.
Chandler Simpson. What a fascinating player. Shows bunt, pulls back. It's a called strike on the breaking ball. Since his average dipped to a season low 259 entering play on June the 19th. Entering play tonight, his last 41 games, he's batted a major league best 379. Shows bunt again, lays it down. It's going to be Lopez, bare hand, throw to first, it's high. Walton is able to knock it down, but Simpson does have a bunt hit. First and third, nobody out in the top of the 7th inning.
And you're seeing right now what happens when you put the pressure on the defense. And this is just a different form of forcing the opponent to play catch here. You saw it with Heim, not able to get out there in time and wheel and throw. He threw it into right field, and now Chandler Simpson forcing Jacob Lopez to bounce off the mound. And with the pressure of his speed, you have no room for any sort of error. And I'm not sure that they would have gotten Simpson with a good throw either. This meeting on the mound now brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. And you just got to give Jacob Lopez, I think, a moment to gather himself, get a breather. Now you got to go to work. You got runners on first and third, nobody out. We've talked about him being aggressive in the strike zone over his last few starts. You don't want to see that change here. But what's going through your head if you're Jacob Lopez is, I just don't want to make a mistake over the heart of the plate. You'd love a double play ball. And Chris, the 33 double plays hit into by the Rays against lefties, more than anybody in baseball. And you've got your candidate right here.
That's high, 1 ball and no strikes.
And the 31 stolen bases by the Rays against left-handers specifically, 4th most in baseball. And Chandler Simpson, I don't see him hanging around first base for too much longer.
He's already inching toward second. He'll stay put, 1-0, tomahawked foul. He's talking to Tampa Bay Rays television analyst Brian Anderson about their team and how exciting and fun they've been. And he said, we do the little things. Seth Johnson warms up in the bullpen, and he said, we've made things of the past in the game of baseball look cool again, like laying down bunts, moving runners, the small ball side of the game that some teams don't use. The Rays have become expert practitioners at it.
Well, 31 bags. He and Bobby Witt Jr. at the top of that list in the American League. And the Tampa Bay Rays, with their 34 sack bunts, sit at the top of the list in baseball. Not afraid to give you an out for 90 feet.
1-1, Simpson going. Fortes showing bunt, no one home at second. So Simpson will steal second base. And now 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out, and Fortes has count leverage.
Well, I don't know that Heim was going to have a play either way, but you saw Walton take a bit of a jab step in the direction of first base as Simpson made his way into second.
32nd stolen base for Simpson. Fortes 284 with runners in scoring position this year. 2-1. Foul back. 2-2. Lopez chasing another 7-inning performance against Tampa Bay here at home. He did it last year against these Rays on August the 12th of 2025. Now on August the 10th, as the first true bit of traffic with nobody out in his game. 2-2. Fly ball right field. Butler is going on the move. Still going, still going. He slides and it drops foul. The ball dropped foul. DeLuca and Simpson came around as if they were scoring, but the ball did drop foul.
Well, he's explaining right now to Kevin Cash. They called it a foul ball, no catch. And though you see Butler kind of leave that mark coming through the line, you can see where this ball was going to end up. Clearly in foul territory.
So 2-2 again to Nick Fortes. Lopez to the plate. And he spoils another. The Rays recently tallied their 30th come from behind victory. They've also done well in spots like this. 2-2, chopper to short. Wilson will go to first and will score DeLuca from third base, and it's 3-2.
Well, and that's how important that stolen base is from Chandler Simpson. To stay out of the double play instead of having to give up 2 outs for the price of 1 pitch and 1 run. Now it's 1 out, 1 run across, and you've got fastest man in baseball standing on second base.
Geloff will play in against Taylor Walls. Mindful of Simpson's speed on second. It's a pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, 30 come from behind victories for the Rays. They tied the White Sox for the American League lead. They're down only a run now. And the 1-0. 2-0. Six of these last 12 games have been decided by 1 run. Lopez will step off. Simpson back in, standing up without a throw. So both of these teams have experienced a lot of closely contested ball games recently. Ah. 2-0 pitch called strike, 2-1. Taylor Walls has popped out to the first baseman McNeil twice. So look at Simpson taking his lead from wire cam on second. Now it's 2-2.
Well, out of the 31 stolen bases under the belt of Chandler Simpson, he's taken third 5 times. He's about as far off as he's been here.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball to center. Bolte will make the catch, and Simpson will tag up to third. The throw is just late. as Simpson dives in safely. But Bolte, a good on-line, on-target throw. Marcotte has his hand up. And he's going to keep the ball rolling.
We see Geloff go back in for the tag. Simpson, all the speed in the world. You know he's tagging. Bolte doing everything he can. Good throw into third, but the speed of Simpson just too much.
Carson Williams, the former #1 prospect, is up again. He swings and misses 0-1. He has punched out swinging twice. He's 0 for 2. Just was recalled from AAA Durham on August the 7th. His second stint with the big league club. And a foul ball makes it 0-2. Where do you go here?
Well, he's got him on a fastball. He's got him on a sweeper. You can pick your poison here. You are well ahead right now. And Williams coming into the ball game, Chris, 0 for 13 against lefties, make it 0 for 15 with 7 strikeouts now.
0-2 pitch. High on a fastball.
And Williams just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
1 ball and 2 strikes from Jacob Lopez. Pitch number 93 coming home. Softly popped into center. Bolte on the move. He's got it. And Jacob Lopez through 7 innings. The A's still have their lead. The Rays do get one back, but it's 3-2 as we go to the stretch in Sacramento.
To recognize Yolo County Library Foundation as our nonprofit partner of the ballgame. The Yolo County Library Foundation was established to provide access for all to ideas that inform, entertain, and inspire. By funding system-wide resources, YCLF promotes and advances educational, informational, and recreational literary activities and lifelong learning opportunities in its communities. You can learn more at yclfoundation.org.
Bottom 7, A's up 3-2 with Bolte, Walton, and Geloff up against a new pitcher. And it is Chris Roycroft in his 16th appearance. He was traded by St. Louis to Tampa Bay on the 26th of June. Or June 23rd, excuse me, of 2026 by the Cardinals. Check swing. It is a strike, 1-1.
Well, it's a high-powered sinker, cutter, four-seamer, and sweeper. So you see right out of the gate the 3 fastball mix doing the heavy lifting for Roycroft. You just saw the 97-mile-an-hour anvil of a sinker.
6'8", 230 pounds as well.
Yeah, he ain't a little fella. But that does mean the end of the line for Freddie Peralta, who on 98 pitches posts a quality start here for the Rays in his second start. 6 innings, 3 runs, punched out 5, did allow the long ball from Zach Geloff back in the 5th.
It's his first quality start since June the 3rd in Seattle with New York. So it's been quite some time, but Peralta gets the job done to keep Tampa Bay in the game on the road in a ballpark that has not played as small tonight. Ball's been on the ground. There's been a Geloff home run, but really it's been a great pitching matchup tonight.
Fortes is going to take some time to walk this off. See, right on that left foot on the inside, the instep.
No surprise for Roycroft, a former Division III product at Aurora University. Played both basketball and baseball there. Was not discovered until he pitched in the Northwoods League for back-to-back seasons before signing a professional contract with the Joliet Slammers in the Frontier League. And made his way up through St. Louis' system and then became a contributing member of their bullpen over the course of the last 2.5 seasons before being traded to Tampa Bay. Bone outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bolte is 1 for 2 with a single tonight. Foul tip it in and out of Fortez's glove.
Well, Fortez very well may need an ice pack or two.
3-2 pitch, shot the other way. A base hit for Bolte, his second opposite field single tonight, and he'll pass the baton to Donovan Walton.
Henry Bolte has really started to do a nice job of identifying pitches that he can hit hard. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to be lifted, but just a smooth, easy approach to the baseball.
Good lead for Bolte. Walton showing bunt. Now he's hit. Did he go? He did not. It's a hit by pitch. And Aranda signaling to Kevin Cash he may want to take a look at it. And they will not.
No, I think what you see is Walton trying to pull the bat back down out of the way. And just because the baseball starts to chase him in. Well, they're going to have a little chit chat right now. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys and Ashton Price. Well, I think I just saw Mr. Farnsworth talk about a four-seamer. So let's see if we get a look at a four-seamer. Time now for this powerful performance, and it's brought to you by Xfinity. And right now, the long ball from Geloff, the X factor in this ball game. A's nursing a one-run lead. And it was Zach Geloff in that homer in the fifth that increased their lead. Right now, they got a little something cooking. 2 on, nobody out. Friends over at StatCast going to give us a look at the anatomy of a long ball. 109 off the bat, 456 feet, left center on top of the clubhouse.
There's a strike, 1-1 from Roy Croft. Bolte at second, Walton at first. Aranda well off the first base bag. In and over. 1-1 pitch. Deep drive to center field. DeLuca going back. Still going. Leaping try. It's off the wall. Bleeding into left center field. Bolte rounding third. He'll come home. Geloff to second. Walton held up at third. And Zach Geloff in his return. Oh, man. It's 4-2.
Well, off the bat, you knew it was loud noise. You could just tell by the way that DeLuca had to get on his horse quickly. Trying to close ground between he and the wall. The baseball continues to sail off the wall, and it's off to the races. And Walton at first has to hold up and make sure that there's not going to be a play on this ball by DeLuca. Otherwise, it's going to be a retreat for Walton, who now sits at third, Geloff at second.
And McNeil has wasted no time swinging early.
Well, he got the head out, that's for certain. But Geloff knew he hit it well. See Bolte back to second just in case. Again, Walton having to hold up. Everybody moves up 2. Jeff McNeil, who has swung the bat well tonight. Down 0-2 here quickly.
Infield in. McNeil can hit it to all fields. That left side is wide open. And he'll foul it off of his foot.
Yeah, right off top of that back foot, ankle area. I mean, Roycroft has had a lot of success against the left-handers. Right-handers absolutely torching him to the tune of .488 average.
0-2. Line drive foul.
This lefty's just 7 for 42 coming into the ball game against Roycroft.
This isn't any normal lefty in McNeil. This is a former batting champion. That is a very uncomfortable at bat. The 0-2 pitch, he pops it up. In foul ground, it will drop into the seats. Man, has it been fun seeing Jeff McNeil get his groove back at the plate.
Well, he's a tough at bat for a lot of different reasons. Number one, he can just spoil. And if you do make a mistake, especially if he's got count leverage, he can hurt you. But in an instance like this, he's got great bat to ball skill, just looking for something he can put in play here.
No balls and 2 strikes, and he fouls away another.
And indeed, we've seen Roycroft go back to that 4-seam fastball. We saw the conversation, and I mentioned reading the lips of the pitching coach, and that's, I think, been the game plan.
The next 0-2 from Roycroft. Hit in the air to left center field. It's curling over. DeLuca to make the catch. Walton will tag and score. 5-2.
And that's a pro AB right there by Jeff McNeil. Doesn't get much better than that.
And Soderstrom's coming up. The A's have checked a lot of different boxes tonight. Starting pitching, situational hitting, a return of a mainstay in Geloff. He's gone 2 for 3 with 2 extra base hits, including a home run. A bouncing ball to second on 2 hops. Williams will toss it to first. Geloff to third, 2 away. We've been asked about how impactful and how important winning a series like the series at Fenway Park would be for this team. And after winning the final 2 games of that series, they have performed very well through 6 innings and some change to start this homestand. One ball and no strikes. Wilson takes. Line out and 2 flyouts for Jacob Wilson. Geloff 90 feet away from scoring the 6th run of the A's evening. Line drive. That's going to drop and go all the way to the wall. Geloff scores. Wilson into second base, and RBI double, and the A's lead by 4.
Jay Willie, the wizard with the wand, working his magic here late in the ball game. Little cutter that just kind of sits up there at the top of the strike zone. And Jacob Wilson able to open up and deliver another insurance run for the green and gold.
Now Carlos, who's walked and grounded out twice to second, will take strike one. Popped up, shallow center, out goes Walls. He's still going, and making the catch in center field is DeLuca. But the A's score 3 runs off of 3 hits and lead by 4. A's Baseball is brought to you by River Rock Casino. Join us for your chance to win a share of $360,000 on Saturday, August 15th. Six to 2 the score, top of the 8th inning. A 3 spot for the A's in the bottom of the 7th. And they have not stopped scoring this game as Yandy Diaz is up. He already has 2 hits tonight. Seth Johnson enters the game for the A's.
We see the numbers for Seth over his time this season.
Line drive base hit for Yandy Diaz.
Well, that'll bring us now to our play of the day, presented by your California Ford dealers. And dude was dealing indeed. 7 innings, a 2-run ball for Jacob Lopez. Just 1 free pass issued, punched out 5, and was very efficient. Fantastic early on. We heard him out there grunting and punching tickets.
We're wondering, did Wimbledon already happen, or is that past us?
Go to work, Lopey.
Soft liner into center, base hit.
Oh.
Back-to-back singles. That's how the 8th inning will start. Talked about the last 2 starts. It's looked really good against the Rays.
Well, in almost a year to the day. Both great outings. I mean, almost mirror images. A few more punch outs. Free pass or 2, but all in all, fantastic work.
And he neutralized Caminero. I don't think this time they're going to neutralize Caminero. Well, a 3-run home run, and it's a 1-run game. His 34th of the year, RBIs 72, 73, and 74. And now things get a little tighter.
Got 3 hard hit balls. I mean, a very quiet approach from Yandy Diaz that got it going. Ronda followed, and now Caminero with an absolute linear.
Valade is up. Still nobody out. So 3 straight hits. Johnson has surrendered out of the bullpen. And it's a 6-5 game.
Jose Suarez starting to toss now for the Athletics. I'm sure he'd be ready for DeLuca or Simpson at this point.
The late is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a flyout, and a pop out. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not.
Get a better look here from the side. Yep, hit the E-brake.
Zipped back foul. It's the Tampa Bay team with no quit in them whatsoever. Season high 6 straight road game wins to start the road trip. And they are right back in it as Valade works the count full to 3-2. Lost him. Johnson walks Valade, and Mark Kotze comes out of the dugout. I think he's going to take the ball from Seth Johnson here. Enter Jose Suarez in a 1-run game.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, the inning started at 6-2. You can see the score now 6-5, a lot closer after Seth Johnson came out of the bullpen. A single, a 3-run home run, and now Jose Suarez, after the Valade walk, bounced Johnson out of the game, is the second reliever used tonight for Mark Kotze. Geloff playing in case of a bunt from DeLuca. Runner at first, and DeLuca will take in the dirt. Valade thought about moving, but it was not far enough away. McNeil holds on Valade at first. Strike. Jose Suarez has allowed at least 1 run in 3 of his last 5 appearances. And 16 of 30 inherited runners have scored under his watch. That's over 50% of the time. 53.3 to be exact. Balls and 1 strike to DeLuca, is 2 for 3. In the air, left field and deep, but it will hook foul.
Just a long, loud strike.
Tampa Bay 5 runs off of 8 hits. They do have an error. A's 6 runs off of 9 hits. They also have an error. A's have committed 5 errors in the last 4 games, excuse me. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Suarez from the stretch will deal home. Chopper foul. Over to first.
I don't know that with 2 strikes they would put Valade in motion here.
He's leaning towards second, but he stays put. 2-2. Line drive over Walton into the right center field alley. Butler over to get it, moving to third. Valade, first and third, nobody out. And now troubles a brewing as Chandler Simpson comes up with no one out and 2 on in a 1-run game where the A's narrowly lead.
Pitch down and away, and I think sometimes you got to tip your cap to Luca, just able to stay on it after a battle with Suarez. Drives that ball over to right. Delayed, good hustle, first to third. And this is where, once again, the speed of Simpson and the potential pressure.
He has a bunt for a hit tonight, 1 for 3. For a player with his skill set that can lay it down at any point in time, but also can slap the ball, I would imagine it's incredibly difficult to come up with a correct defensive alignment against him. McNeil holds on the runner at first in the 1-0 pitch. Foul back.
Well, you can see his approach right now, just trying to hang in there and, as you said, slap it somewhere. Simpson hitting .254 against lefties.
Geloff still creeping in at third. And the 1-1, he shows, pulls back. McNeil came crashing in.
Well, and you saw Jeff McNeil in between pitches kind of motion to Donovan Walton over there at second base. Hey, be ready.
So 2-1 now. What will Simpson decide to do on this pitch? He'll swing away a line drive, base hit, tie game. Rays dugout is amped up. They were down 4 entering the 8th inning. And it is an inning that has yielded 5 hits and a walk. And still nobody out with the chance to take the lead. And Jacob Lopez's chance for a win has been erased. Unless the A's can come and do damage in the bottom of the 8th inning. It would remain a close game into the 9th.
That's 6 straight base runners for the Rays.
Strike 1. Fortes 0 for 3. Did have an RBI ground out in the 7th inning. Corners in, middle infield back. Both runners going. Throw down to third. Geloff there, but the tag is late. And DeLuca lost his helmet in the process. Double steal executed perfectly.
And again, with the right-hander Fortes at the plate, you see Heim have to create a lane. And with the speed of both DeLuca and Simpson, the Rays once again on the attack. Tell you, Chris, it's one thing to look up and down the lineup and see power hitters and feel like there aren't many openings. That's a different form of a relentless existence. When you have guys that put the pressure on you defensively, the way that the Tampa Bay Rays do from top to bottom in this lineup with power sprinkled all throughout, that is a different brand of relentless baseball in and of itself.
And a walk, bases loaded. Taylor Walls is coming up. Man.
7 straight base runners. 7.
And still nobody out. Dan Tubbs is going to come out. There's going to be another meeting on the mound.
Well, the long and the short of it is, hey, let's get some outs. Got it, coach. I mean, just a tough spot to be in right now, but really it's the own making of the Athletics. And again, I mean, you just watch the way the Rays have forced the issue and capitalized on mistakes. Looks like Scott Blewett starting to move around with a little urgency. Bases loaded. Let's get you a ground ball right back to you, Suarez. Home to first, and we'll get you another out and call it a day.
Walls lines it into right. The Rays are going to have the lead. Sliding over to get it, Butler. This is going to score 2. 8-6. 8 straight hitters reach. A 6-run 8th, and there's still nobody out.
Fastball well up and out of the strike zone. But Walls just looking for something he can go up and get, and he got it, and he delivers. And the Rays just won't quit.
Liam Hicks, the former Marlin, is coming up to pinch hit. Cedric Mullins will run at third. And the Rays have their biggest lead of the evening. Got to go all the way back to the first inning when they had a 1-0 lead after a leadoff home run. Back into the game, now they lead by 2, and Hicks swings on the first pitch, fouling it away. Punched into shallow left. Geloff going out over his shoulder, and it ends up dropping foul.
Well, the way things have unfolded, almost felt like everybody in the ballpark expected that ball to drop fair.
0-2, we'll have to wait.
Well, Hicks, 207 hitter against Southpaws, Chris. 303 with runners in scoring position. It's where he finds himself right now. 2 for 9 in his pinch hit appearances.
Pitch is on the ball. Catcher challenge.
He's going to challenge here.
I mean, that's about as close as it gets.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
And you like it.
Calls overturn. Pitches a strike. Athletics have 2 challenges remaining.
So there's the first out. Maybe a bit of a sarcastic applause as the A's do finally get it out. 8-6. Scott Blewett is going to come into the game with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 8th. Service champions, 2 more against the Rays, then an off day Thursday, followed by the Rangers coming to town, then 7 straight on the road, 4 against Kansas City and 3 against Houston. A lot of the American League over the next 2 weeks. 8-6, Tampa Bay leads. They've scored 6 runs off of 6 hits in this inning, still have just 1 out and runners on the corners. And Scott Blewett, who has been good since arriving with the A's, is out of the bullpen, trying to keep it a 2-run scoreline.
Yeah, he's got some work to do right now. He's inherited a couple of runners. Looking for a double play here against Yandy Diaz, who has swung the bat very well tonight.
He has 3 hits, and he's chasing some history. 3rd hit tied Ben Zobrist with 1,016, excuse me. And he will line it into center. It's caught by Bolte. Coming home is Mullins, and he will score a sacrifice fly, 9-6. Yandy's 2nd RBI, his 67th of the season. Blewett gets the 2nd out, but now Tampa Bay is up by 3. There's Jonathan Aranda. 1 for 3. Low Walls getting caught in between. McNeil, quick second, throws it off of Walls.
Well, and a heads-up job by Walls to get into a lane, establish a lane that eliminated the throwing lane of right-handed first baseman Jeff McNeil, and that's what was going to make it tougher. You can see where Jeff McNeil is and where he's throwing from. He's right in line with second base, and you can see where Jacob Wilson is. And this is the difference in the play here. You see Walls move over and the throw right off the head, and Jacob Wilson towards the 3rd base side of second base is where the target was. I mean, that's just heads-up base running.
Now that is hit through into right. Walls will score. Aranda will not stretch for second as a strong throw back in from Butler comes into second, now 10-6.
Well, Walls got to second base and said, "Can you help me, Aranda?" And Aranda said, "No problem."
2nd hit this inning from Jonathan Aranda.
Walls, after a nice job of getting to second base. I mean, that's a play I know A's fans at home not terribly excited about it, and for good reason. Obviously puts a runner in scoring position. Looks like Jonah Heim's probably felt better. I mean, that is right on the quad.
Caminero earlier this inning hit a 3-run home run to make it a 1-run game. At that point it was 6-5. The Rays have since scored 5 more runs. After this, laser to left.
A laser indeed. Tough inning for the Athletics. Inning that has seen 12 men come to the plate. 8 have scored.
On the ground to short. Flip to second, and that'll end a very long 8th inning. The Rays score 8, like Dallas said, and lead by 4. This game summary is brought to you by Toyota. Well, Jacob Lopez was excellent. Zach Geloff awesome in his return. Freddie Peralta, a quality start for the first time since early June. And then things got bad in the 8th inning. An 8-run 8th, and the Rays are up by 4 after the A's entered the 8th inning. Well, up by 4. High strike call, 0-1. New pitcher in the game. It's Jonathan Heasley.
Well, you just watched the Rays turn in an 8-run inning. And I know it probably sounds like foolish optimism. Nothing says you can't go on a little run here. Mullins out in center, DeLuca to right. Palacios in at second, and Hicks behind the dish now to finish this off.
That's a start. Butler, a 2-hit night.
Pitch just running away from Lawrence. Able to get it through that hole on the right side. Now the A's got a base runner just looking for action here. As we know in this ballpark, Chris, things can change, as you just saw. Things can change quick, fast, and in a hurry.
First pitch strike call to Jonah Heim, who's 0 for 3 with a fly out, a ground out, and a line out. Infield playing him to pull. And now 1-1. Well, the concept of a sustained offense is something that you've talked about during the A's lull in success in terms of the win and loss column. But the offense has, well, maintained a level of success tonight. At a 3 spot in the 7th inning. 2 runs in the 1st inning. 22 hits between these two teams tonight. The big-time shutdown inning out of the bullpen did not happen. After Jacob Lopez turned over possibly his best start of the year.
Yeah, I mean, for the Rays, 7 out of 12 of their knocks, Chris, just came in that last half inning. And you talk about getting the job done with runners in scoring position. That's the tail of the tape right now.
Foul tipped into Hicks's glove. Heim strikes out. There's out number 1. And here comes Bolte.
A little elevated cutter he got a piece of, just not quite enough to jar it loose.
Bolte with 2 hits tonight and a run scored, both opposite field singles. Good at bats from the young center fielder. People can't get a camera on you in the booth, but I know you were amped up about that second single he had, just shooting the 3-4 gap with second baseman shading the second base back, just taking the space.
That's it.
He tries that way again. This time it'll go foul.
You know, I'm not telling you by any means that Henry Bolte is Luis Arias, who's kind of scanning the field and looking for holes. But I think the more comfortable you get letting the ball travel, the more beneficial you find it to be able to use right field. A lot of hitting coaches will tell you there's a lot of hits over there. A lot of hits over there. And if slugging is not necessarily your primary attribute, that's how you become that much more of a difficult hitter to defend against. You start to see more straight up positioning against you because you'll hit it anywhere. You know, that's, you talk to infield coaches and the analytics teams that they're working with. When you've got guys that have a fairly even distribution of the baseball on the ground, those are one of the tougher guys to game plan for, because it tells you any pitch anywhere is where they can hit it.
His working counts well too. Anything, the young guys have done a good bit of work. Soderstrom has a double, RBI double, Wilson an RBI double, Butler 2 hits, Bolte 2 hits, Geloff 2 hits. 3-2, and he swings and misses on a cutter.
Well, it looked like that may have kind of backed up a little bit. You see the stall there in the swing of Bolte, and that's because out of the hand you see spin. You start to expect a different flight path, and that ball backs up and heads towards you. You know, it's one thing to throw a backup slider, a backup cutter every now and then. I mean, you do it consistently and it's just called a bad pitch.
It's Tyler Wells in the game, 2 strikeouts to follow up the Butler leadoff single. No balls and 2 strikes to Donovan Walton. High and away. Walton 0 for 2, a ground out, a flyout, was hit by a pitch, scored a run. The A's down 4. Two and 2. Good eye.
You see Hicks come out, tell him, hey, go the long way. Butler's going to be off of the move. Aranda backing up. Butler will get a nice jump.
Payoff pitch. Butler on the move. Walton taking up. So a 2-out walk, first and second. 2 outs, and Geloff, who has been the biggest power threat for the A's tonight, is coming up.
And you saw it with Caminero, did we not? The first 2 hitters of the 8th inning reached base, and then it was a long ball that got the Rays all fired up and right back in the ball game. Same thing can happen here for the green and gold. 2 on, 2 out. Geloff, who's already pumped 1 out of the ballpark tonight, looking to see if he can't close the gap. Have a little chit chat now.
Kyle Snyder comes out,
trying to figure out how they want to attack Zach Geloff. You go back to that 5th inning for Geloff, and it was liftoff. That would extend his home hitting streak to 22 games, and he'd follow it up with a double just right of center. He's done some damage tonight. Another opportunity to do so here.
been great to see Zach really, when he comes back, doesn't miss a beat. He had that hand injury where he was spiked in his hand, ended up just being a contusion and then a knee laceration. And what does he do? He comes back from his rehab assignment. He has 2 extra base hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and has played a solid defensive third base when opportunities have come at that position tonight. Butler at second, Walton at first in a 10-6 game. Wells to the plate. And that's a called strike, the outer portion of the strike zone. One and one. A big swing and miss.
See it just start to slide away. Slide it with a little depth there. .286 with runners in scoring position. For Zach Geloff this year. So lefty is warming up in Tampa Bay's bullpen. He'll strike out. The A's strand 2. 10-6 Tampa Bay. And we go to the 9th. Battle the Minnesota Twins. That's UC Davis Aggies, just to clarify. Show off your Aggie pride with fellow students, alumni, and fans, and grab a special co-branded A's and UC Davis cap with your ticket package. You can lock in your seats today at athletics.com/themegames. Ten to 6. Blewett still out there. Villade will no longer hit as Palacios came in the game. And he will lead off the top of the 9th. Up 4 runs. This is popped up and out of play. Now Tampa Bay has the luxury of utilizing their bench with a 4-run lead. Yeah, you can start to move guys around and match up. And with just one guy left on the bench for the Rays at this point. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Richie Palacios. The Red Sox lost to the Blue Jays in Toronto tonight, 2-1. After the A's took the final 2 games of the series the last 2 days in Boston. 3 in a row, that's called a losing streak. Yes, it is. Palacios lifts it in the air to
center field. Bolte loudly calling everyone off and making the catch. I heard that there was some scoreboard issue in Toronto. The outs were wrong or something like that. And
a little bit of a delay.
It was all over social media. Didn't matter, a 2-1 victory as DeLuca will line out to right field. Simeon Woods-Richardson got the win for the Blue Jays, and Louis Varland, who has been one of the best relievers in the American League, gets a save.
That dude has been nasty.
Toronto surging a little bit too. Made a number of different personnel changes on their roster. Called up Brett Bateman, McAdoo. Unafraid to put some pressure on the Kings of the East, and that's the Tampa Bay Rays that are in good position right now to win the ball game.
Well, and I tell you, if the, this is all coming, mind you, in a season where you see Grove and Kelly start to warm up, but a season where Vlad Jr. has just not been himself. Still the most incredible statistic of the season in my mind. 7 homers, not one at home for Vlad Jr. That, I mean, it is the middle of August. Still not a homer at the Rogers Center. That's unbelievable. And I think we all understood that it would be a tall task for George Springer to replicate his season last year.
Chopper to short, Wilson charging, gloving, gunning to first, and Simpson is out by a quarter step. Wilson able to gun down Simpson at first, and they will not challenge.
Well, Jacob Wilson flawless once again. On the run, there's still work to be done.
Is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
That was back in 2005 on August 20th against the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa Bay. Don't get Bobby Crosby upset, Dallas Braden, you know all too well. After getting knocked down, well, he got back up and sent this Jorge Sosa 2-2 pitch out of the ballpark for his 16th home run of the season. Crosby would go on to hit 22 home runs and win the AL Rookie of the Year award.
How about Bones? Go to work, Bones. It'll be Kevin Kelly now. 51st appearance. Trying to seal the deal for the Rays after an incredible comeback.
Neal launches to right center. On the run, DeLuca, he'll make the catch. One ball and one strike to Tyler Soderstrom. 10-6 the score. Tampa Bay leads.
get you a base runner, you get something going here.
Chopper to short, charging Walls. He'll throw to first, and 2 are away. This is the lifeline. Wilson 1 for 4, a double, and an RBI. A's had a 6-2 lead going into the top of the 8th. And I think this will do it. Caminero charges, throws to first, and the Rays come back and win 10-6. The Rays improve to 72 and 46, a 4-run victory. And they've won 7 in a row on this road trip.
Well, just an incredible job of being able to stay patient, stay in the pocket, and eventually deliver a knockout blow for the Tampa Bay Rays. You watched a brand of baseball that, when executed correctly and consistently, puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Unfortunately, the Athletics not able to handle that pressure. The bullpen succumbed. It was a great start from Jacob Lopez. Unfortunately, that would be erased due to a very, very long 8th inning that saw the Rays send 12 men to the plate, 8 of which scored, Chris, and that, frankly, and obviously, was the story of the ballgame tonight.
So the A's fall after 2 big wins in Boston. They'll try and look tomorrow for a victory. Well, that's it from us. For our producer, Delaire Lewis, for our director, Mike Bird, for my broadcast partner, Dallas Braden, Chris Carey saying so long, but stay tuned. A's Cast on NBC Sports California with Chris Townsend and Steve Sachs.